O'Reilly decided to make a response to Jon Stewart because Jon Stewart was basically bashing Bill O'Reilly a little bit on his show. O'Reilly was basically talking about how the outcome of the election proves that it's the decline of traditional America. And Jon Stewart, of course, had a heyday with that, totally making fun of it, thought it was hilarious. I also thought it was hilarious. Now, here's Bill O'Reilly's response to Jon Stewart.
That a coalition of voters put the president back into the Oval Office. That coalition was non-traditional, which means it veered away from things like traditional marriage, robust capitalism, and self-reliance. Instead, each constituency that voted for the president, whether it be single women, Hispanic Americans, African Americans, whatever, had very specific reasons for doing so. What do you think was going on at the Democratic convention when a variety of speakers put out a long laundry list of things they want the government to provide? Did you miss that, Jon Stewart? Traditional American voters generally want a smaller government in Washington, more local control, some oversight on abortion, and believe in American exceptionalism.
Wow. Wait, really fast?
Yeah.
I like that he now, I alluded to this the first hour, he understands how old his viewers are because he has to yell to them to wake up Grandpa.
Yeah, I hate his delivery. It's so irritating.
In your face.
It's arrogant.
Yeah,
and
it's arrogant and he's full of himself. Those are things that we already know. But I actually want to address some of the things he said. He starts by talking about how people who voted for Obama no longer believe in traditional marriage. They no longer believe in you know, some of the social issues that we have started to reject, right? That's not a bad thing, okay?
No.
That's not a bad thing at all. Wanting equality for gay members of society is not a bad thing. In the end of his statement, he talks about how traditional Americans want some oversight when it comes to abortion, some oversight. Except, no, it's not some oversight. When you have states like Virginia saying, you know what, maybe we should do vaginal probes without a woman's consent if they want to get an abortion, that's not some oversight, okay? So don't try to belittle some of the ridiculous legislation that's passed in some of the most conservative states in this country, especially when it comes to abortion. And also, I love how insulting he is, and by love I mean absolutely despise, to gay people, to women, to minorities in this country.
Whatever.
It's like, yeah, they're not the traditional Americans. We're the white minority. Now, all of these colored people are coming in here, and they're asking the government to take care of them. That's basically what, you know, his underlying argument is there. And that's the reason why people like us despise Bill O'Reilly, because you are insulting, you are arrogant, and you are not paying attention to what the real issues are here.
Absolutely. He's just continuing to feed these extreme right-wing teabag mentalities. And what's so great about traditional ideology? Like, honestly, like, what's so great? When I look back on our history, I see a whole lot of hate and prejudicism, and I see a whole lot of lack of women's rights. And now, finally, we're starting to take a stand and have a more evolved, tolerant nation. And that's not good enough. That's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's so wrong to have traditional, or to have two gay men be able, or two gay women to be able to have marriage.
The same
It's
rights that
unbelievable.
everyone else in this country has. I mean, it's a civil rights issue. And part of the reason why the Tea Party got voted out of office during this last election is because Americans are increasingly rejecting this whole notion of legislating morality. We don't believe in legislating your morality anymore. And I love that.
Thank goodness we've evolved. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I think you were too nice to him. I think that you actually continued his false frame. He is not. He has a terrible argument here, and he's not intelligent enough to know why.
You think I was too nice to him?
Yeah, you were mean, but you were not. You were not.
Okay.
You're not mean enough. So he says traditional American voters generally want a smaller government. Blah blah blah. He continues that stuff. The problem is, traditional American voters is not something encased in platinum and glass that he is just describing for you. He's picking conservatives and saying those are traditional American voters.
Exactly.
Traditionally in America, we had the Great Society, and we had the New Deal, and we had the Trust Busters. We also, by the way, had slavery. We had a lot of stuff. There were liberals 40 or 50 years ago. I'm not describing stuff that was during Obama's first term. Great Society 50 years ago, New Deal 70 years ago. Traditionally, Democrats have won a lot of elections. Liberals have won a lot of elections. He's simply glossing all over that by saying that it used to just be nice white conservative folk. And what he's responding to here in a very weak sauce way is, I don't know if you saw The Daily Show when Jon Stewart took him down, when he was showing like, yeah, dude, they hated Irish people at one point too. Traditionally, they didn't like your kind. And this is the response that he has. No wonder people like Jon Stewart and think that he's an old clown.